Megyn Kelly completely schools Bill Maher after she rejects the premise that, I don't know, maybe Donald Trump is not the worst guy to ever exist, and perhaps a pertinent issue like the border is more important in this election than their abstract concept of democracy, which Trump somehow threatens, but they also don't really believe in, and it's really confusing. But again, Bill Maher today gets taken to school. So I'm Vince with Resist the Mainstream. Please, folks, do us a big favor. If you enjoy the content, be sure to hit that like button down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. And why should you subscribe? Because doing so goes a long way in ensuring we can keep bringing you these videos. It is totally free, the #1 way to support our work, and all you got to do is hit that red button down below. And with that said, let's get into this.
I'm not saying you don't have a point. I'm just saying it's hard for people to understand why that, which is not democracy, that's the border issue. And you're right, they fucked it up. That, with like the things he's been saying and all the people in his administration who said he's a fascist, he wants to be a fascist, he talks like a fascist, his friends are all dictators.
I don't care about that at all. Not at all.
Because?
January 6th was not good.
Wait, why don't you care about that at all?
Because they've been saying that about Trump for years. They've been saying that about Republican candidates for years. It has like a long storied history. If you are at all center or center right, you are used to having your candidate of choice completely demonized, whether it's the F word, the R word, the misogynist word. They tried to tell us Mitt Romney was a raging sexist because of binders full of women. They tried to tell us John McCain was a raging racist, notwithstanding the fact that he had adopted a daughter from Bangladesh. They've been doing this for every Republican. They get to Trump, and we no longer are listening to them. Trump has incendiary rhetoric, there's no question, but we have 4 years to judge him by, and the country was going pretty well when Trump was in there, unlike the 4 years we've had under these two.
Correct. It's almost as if it is fear-mongering or a distraction tactic. Clearly, right? Because, you know, Bill Maher even concedes, yeah, the border was a disaster, they effed it up, but what about democracy? Don't you know Trump's gonna be a fascist? Well, you know, Bill, let me make this in an analogy you can understand. When you make the same joke on your show over and over again, what happens? Well, maybe the first time people might find it funny or entertaining or shocking or whatever, but when you say the same thing over and over and over, what happens? People tune out. They stop listening. They stop engaging with it. That's exactly what has happened here with the fascism line, because despite all of this talk about how Donald Trump is an unprecedented threat to democracy because he's so bad and look at him, he's racist, he's fascist. Yeah, it's almost like the American people have been hearing that for years, and they have stopped believing it. Megyn Kelly is absolutely right. Before we continue this video, though, a quick word from today's sponsors over at Goldco. With election year upon us, the economy is more unpredictable than ever. Markets can swing dramatically, and political changes can impact your savings overnight. Just take a look at some of those economic proposals being introduced in this campaign. That's why it is now the perfect time to partner with Goldco. Gold and silver can serve as reliable stores of value, offering protection against economic uncertainty, inflation, and the unpredictable shifts that come with election years. Goldco makes it easy to diversify your retirement with gold and silver IRAs. Even as other investments fluctuate, this can help provide a secure shield for your future. Their expert team will guide you through a quick tax and penalty-free rollover of your 401k or IRA, and right now you can get up to $10,000 in free silver just for opening an account. So why not learn more? No commitment. Get your free information kit today at rtmgold.com. Again, if you're remotely curious, rtmgold.com, request your free information kit.
Well, I mean, I could argue with that too. Actually, if Trump had this economy, and I could go through all the stats, the stock market is through the roof, wages are up.
Not as high as it was under Trump.
Well, first of all, Trump inherited somebody else's economy.
That's what Barack Obama would like us to.
Well, it's true.
Okay.
It's really on day one, everything changed.
So just walk me through it. So Trump has Obama to thank for his economy, but Biden can't thank Trump for anything.
Okay. Let's get off this. Because it's not what I really want to get to.
Yeah, switch the topic because you are getting destroyed. That's exactly what just happened there. right? Because Bill just walked into that. He tried to argue. What did he say? He said, well, Trump's economy wasn't actually good. He inherited Obama's economy. But the economy now is good under Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Okay, see how that works? So Megyn Kelly says, all right, so why can't Joe Biden and Kamala say that they inherited the Trump economy? The logic there doesn't really add up, right? And by the way, I should point out the truth is the economy really is not that good. There's a reason why Kamala Harris, actually, first of all, there's a reason why I should say Joe Biden is not the candidate, okay? Because even if he were the senile old man, if his record was good, if his policies were popular, then he would have a fighting chance, at least in the election, but the Democrats know he didn't. And secondly, there's a reason why Kamala Harris is trying so hard to run around and say, I'm not Joe Biden. I have my own economic plan, because the economy really is not that good, and that's especially not what people feel. But when Bill Maher essentially lives in the ivory tower on top of the Hollywood Hills, he doesn't have to pay attention to how much things cost. He doesn't have to worry about money or trying to live paycheck to paycheck. I guess you don't really notice that the economy sucks, do you? Now, with that said, Bill is going to go back to the thing he always does, which is this issue of election denial. Yeah, you know, Joe Biden and Kamala may both be horrible leaders, but at least they concede elections, which I don't really think is true, but let's take a listen.
Well, don't think there won't be denialism if Kamala Harris loses, too.
It won't be the same.
Okay, but there's going to be. I mean, they're already laying the foundation for lawfare. We're going to be stuck in this election one way or the other, no matter who wins, for weeks.
Well, there's no evidence of that. Democrats have never done that. They've conceded.
We already had this fight on my show. Hillary Clinton is the original election denier. Stacey Abrams. Yes, she is.
It's different. Come on, man. Right. It's different between grumbling. Yes, they grumble and they shouldn't, and maybe it goes over the. It's different between grumbling about something and actually trying to overturn it, like he did. I mean, you know this. Why do we have to go through this?
That's fine.
You know.
You're allowed to file legal challenges in response to an election, which is what Trump did,
Correct.
And he lost, and he did wind up leaving office. I'm not going to defend his behavior on January 6th. I never have, and I'm not going to start tonight. But if you don't think there's going to be denialism on the Dem side, you haven't been paying attention to what's been happening on that side for these years.
Yeah, correct. Bill Maher always goes back to this, but the reality is, first of all, no, Democrats did not accept the election results of 2016. Now, what he said there is that there's a difference between groaning about it, which is like complaining, versus actually doing something about it. Yet that's still not true, okay? Because let's look at the difference here. So first of all, you could say that in 2020, the Republicans tried to do recounts and legal challenges to the election. Democrats did the same thing. Are we just forgetting about this? Like, they literally did that as well. Oh, but you'll say, what about January 6th and the fact that Trump tried to get the Electoral College, essentially give or take, to, you know, toss out the results? The Democrats tried to do that as well. Do we forget this? The Hamilton Electors Project, how there was this concerted effort by a lot of Democrat electors. One of them was out of the state of Colorado. You can just Google this yourself. It's called Hamilton Electors. Back in 2016, they tried to get the Electoral College to go rogue and overturn the Democratic results as well. So what exactly are you talking about? Oh, but there was political violence when Trump lost. So with Hillary Clinton. We've memory hold the entire situation, but the Republicans spread baseless conspiracy theories about what happened in the election. Yeah, so did the Democrats. It's called Russian collusion, okay? Like literally on every level, it is actually basically the same what happened. And that's what Megyn Kelly has pointed out now to Bill Maher more than once.
Hillary Clinton, of course, is the original election denier. I'm sure you voted for her in 2016.
Well, she's not an election denier.
She absolutely was the OG election denier.
First of all, she came out before the sun had risen to concede the election to Trump.
And then spent the next 4 years saying he was illegitimate. He was an illegitimate president.
Okay, well, first of all, she didn't say he was an illegitimate.
Yes, she did.
You tell me exactly what she said.
She said those exact words repeatedly.
I believe he knows he's an illegitimate president.
Okay. I mean, she conceded the election. Whether you're interpreting her disappointment at losing it as the same thing as Trump not conceding it, I don't know if that's where you're getting it from. But again, it's a tremendous false equivalency. You could ask Hillary Clinton right now who won that election. She will tell you Donald Trump won the election.
Now she knows she has to because of what Trump has done.
She came out that night in her dark purple suit and conceded the election.
Correct. And then spent the next 4 years trying to convince us it was not legitimate.
You can run the best campaign. You can even become the nominee. And you can have the election stolen from you.
You said it right. She said it right there. The election was stolen. You can have the election stolen from you. So how's that different between her rhetoric and Trump's rhetoric? It really isn't. Okay, you can get into this semantical argument of, well, Trump didn't concede, Hillary did concede, and then later basically reversed her concession and like unconceded the election. Okay, like whatever. But ultimately, it's all just words, okay? There's no constitutional mandate that you have to call your opponent and say, hey, congratulations, let me give a big speech to America. Like, that's not required. You could say it's a healthy thing for democracy, sure. But you know what else is healthy for democracy? Not letting in 20 million people illegally into this country, right? So, like, we could go a long ways with this. But the ultimate point is this, okay? Bill, it is not a false equivalency. Actually, the Democrat behavior between the 2016 election and Republicans in 2020 is very identical by every metric you want to run with, right? In some ways, you could almost make the argument that certain things that happened in 2016 may have been worse when you want to talk about Russian collusion and things like that. But you know, I think it's a poor excuse, okay? If you oppose Donald Trump and you want that to be convincing to the rest of the American public, you got to pick a better angle than just saying, oh, well, you know, Trump may be right on all the political issues, but he won't concede elections. And this is so important. Why? I don't know. There still was a peaceful transfer of power. What are you talking? I don't know. All right. But there's Bill Maher for you, getting completely schooled by Megyn Kelly yet again. So with that said, let me know your thoughts. And until next time, I've been Vince with Resist the Mainstream. Hope you enjoyed, and peace.